Hi, do you know what my thoughts for today? And today my thoughts will be about these, mostly peaceful protests that we've been seeing for the last few days in Los Angeles, now spreading to other cities, Chicago, I know, even Omaha, Nebraska, even Omaha, only a small group, but attacking ICE agents in the performance of their lawful duties, getting people out of the country, which is what, unlawful aliens out of the country, which is what Trump was elected to do. But anyways, I'm going to looking at all these photos and the video, the burning cars, the hurling rocks, the tussling with, wrestling with police officers, what we've seen, I have to be honest that, correct me if I'm wrong, I have the description, the comments section below the video, you can disagree with me, but none of that looks like peaceful protests, or mostly peaceful, not even mostly, not even partly peaceful protests to me. To me, they look like out and out riots. But I do want to attract a lot of people, and I do have liberals watching this channel. So in your honor, I'm going to use your term, the Democrats' term, mostly peaceful protests, but because I want to be fair to conservatives too, I'm putting it in quotes. Okay, so but the point I want to get to though is, and I will be turning the floor over to one of my favorite posters, one of my favorite TV posters in a moment. I feature him a lot, Harry Enton, CNN, and who is really one of only two reasons to watch that station if you're a conservative, the other one being Scott Jennings, but that's another subject. The point is that why are the Democrats doing this? Why are they defending just the day before I'm recording this, 2 days before you're seeing it, ICE arrested a whole bunch of unlawful aliens who, besides, just being an unlawful alien entering the country illegally, that is a felony. That is a felony. But besides that, rapists, murderers, drug traffickers, human traffickers, these are the people that are being arrested right now. The Department of Homeland Security, they're giving the priority to criminals, but you have the Democrats defending, they want these people to stay in the country. And I have to wonder, why are they doing this? And the answer is obvious, because the whole idea of throwing the borders open to 10 to 20 million, depending on estimates, unlawful aliens was the goal was with so many immigrants in the country, unlawful aliens in the country, we cannot deport them all, so they will have to be given amnesty, and then they can become citizens, and then they can vote. And actually, I should, just full disclosure, I am actually, I guess you call me a 1.5 generation American. My father was an immigrant, and my grandparents on my mother's side immigrated also. So I am descended from it. Well, we all are. Most of us are anyhow, but this is my immediate past. Anyways, I guess, the question is, how is that working out for you, my Democratic friends? The idea was, the other thing they wanted to do was to attract the minority vote, I guess, or in this case, the immigrant vote, the legal, besides getting these unlawful aliens, getting them amnesty eventually and citizenship and the ability to vote, but those who are in the country legally and who are citizens and who can vote, then the Democrats, the other goal is to get these people to vote in increasing numbers for the Democrats. But, that's the question. How is that working out? Are you achieving your goals? Because so far, as I've said in past vlogs, there are a lot of 80-20 issues in this country, and the Democrats are consistently on the 20 side of these 80-20 issues, such as putting men in women's sports and being your children being able to identify as the opposite sex without the teachers having to inform the parents, and well, on and on and on. And they're on the wrong side of these issues. But I guess immigration, they think they are on the right side of that issue. And let's just see how much on the right side they are. And that's why I'm going to turn the floor over now to Harry Enton, the pollster guy at CNN, who will give you some numbers. Here's Harry.
Start off on the fact that immigrant citizens, immigrant voters, foreign-born voters have gone tremendously to the right on this issue in 2024 and 2025 versus where they were in 2020. Closest to or trust more in immigration. You go back to 2020. Democrats, get this, held a 32-point lead on this issue. Immigrant voters were in the Democratic camp. Jump forward to 2024, 2025. Look at that shift, a 40-point shift to the right among immigrant voters. Republicans now lead on this issue by 8 points over Democrats, more so than any other group that I could find. The group of voters who became more hawkish on immigration were in fact immigrants themselves, immigrants who are registered to vote in this country.
So that's on that issue. How about how they feel about kind of traditionally, historically, about Donald Trump?
Yeah. So, you see this shift and you go, what is going on underneath the hood? Well, take a look, Donald Trump. You remember when he first ran back in 2016, immigrant voters were one of his weakest spots. But look at this. Trump's vote share in presidential elections among, again, immigrant citizens, those who are registered to vote. Look at this. In 2016, he got 36% of the vote. You go to 2020, 39% of the vote. Look at this. In 2024, all the way up to 47% of the vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely losing that vote. Some polls I looked at had him barely winning that vote. Again, there is no block of voters that shifted more to the right from 2020 to 2024 than immigrant voters, and Donald Trump, at least in some surveys, actually won that vote. On average, it's about equal. So there may be all this stuff, right, about undocumented immigrants and Trump being harsh on them, but immigrant voters themselves have increasingly liked Donald Trump and have increasingly moved to the right on immigration and into the Republican camp.
Well, then on that, what you're getting at, how immigrant citizens, voters, feel about people in the country illegally.
Yeah, and this is where it all kind of comes together, Kate Baldwin. Look at this. The net favorable rating, immigrants who are here illegally, among immigrant citizens, again, those registered to vote. In 2020, look at this, plus 23 points on the net favorable rating. But look at where we were in 2024, minus 6 points, underwater. So immigrant citizens have become increasingly unfavorable in their views of those immigrants who are here illegally. So I think it's so important when we're talking about this debate from a political angle to separate those out who are undocumented immigrants versus those who are here legally and those who are citizens and those who are voters, because that group of voters has felt increasingly distant from those immigrants who are here legally. And so again, when we're talking about this, at least from a political angle, this is why Donald Trump feels so comfortable, because in fact, amongst the group that you would think that would be most opposed to this, in fact, they become increasingly favorable, not just towards Donald Trump, but towards a Republican point of view on immigration and becoming distant from those immigrants who are here illegally.
Yeah, an important baseline to consider as this plays out.
Yes, we'll see where we are in a few weeks.
Yeah, thanks so much, Harry. John.
As you can see, my Democrat friends, I don't know. After seeing that, I mean, you guys, well, actually, not even many liberals are watching CNN anymore, or MSNBC, or even CBS, or ABC. The top ratings ratings getting station, garnering station is Fox News right now, and beating them handily. So even Democrats are watching Fox News. But for those few liberals who are, well, actually, I know on the business, I'm sure Fox News will too. But the Fox Business Channel, they showed that clip that I showed you, not the whole thing, but the relevant clip from CNN, from Harry Enton. So all you Democrats who are seeing this, are you going to change direction? I say no. I think they'll just double down on it and keep going, because the radical wing of their party, Democrats cannot win an election without them, so they have to appease them, and I guess that's what it is. I mean, I don't know how you can look at those numbers that I just showed you and say, well, we got to keep doing this. We have to keep, being anti-ICE and pro-unlawful aliens. And I guess I'll end on this, because this is one of the problems that Democrats, I've said it before, Margaret Thatcher gave set out the roadmap. If you want to win elections, number one, first win the argument, then win the election. And they are not making arguments. I just heard it again today. Well, the same thing. Gavin Newsom talking about the National Guard being in LA to protect federal property and these ICE agents, these federal officers, and talking about attacks on democracy. That's their mantra over and over again. Trump's a dictator, attacks on. They never defend their issues, and they're not even honest about it. So this is if you want to win elections, then, well, it's the obvious thing to do. So you have to ask yourselves why they don't do it, because, on immigration, because they know they can't win on it. And they want to get in some other way by saying this attacking democracy stuff. Because you should be transparent and honest. Say, okay, these are, we want keeping murderers, unlawful aliens who are murderers and rapists and drug traffickers and human traffickers, and also I believe also child abusers, child sexual abusers. We want. Keeping them in the country is more important than your safety, American citizens. We want unlawful aliens in the country. We want, even if it has more, it's like the saying, better to let 10 guilty people free than to wrongly convict, imprison an innocent person. And that's what they're thinking. Say, better to let hundreds of murderers, rapists, and child traffickers and women traffickers and drug dealers and MSNBC. I always say that MSNBC 13. That's how I think about them. MS 13 members, Tren de Aragua members, none of whom were in the country, by the way. Tren de Aragua until till Biden threw open the border. Said it's better to let 100 of these people in than to deport one unlawful alien who may not commit any other crime other than the obviously felony of coming into the country illegally, and defend it. You have to be transparent. We want murderers. Our priority is to have unlawful aliens who are murderers, rapists, and human traffickers and drug dealers and MS-13 members and Tren de Aragua members. That is our priority, to have them in the country, and this is why. And this is why you should vote for us to continue that policy, because if we win an election, that will be our policy. We will throw the borders open again and let millions of unlawful aliens into this country if we win, if we ever control the White House, Congress, and not even controlling Congress. If we have the next Democrat president will throw the borders open the way Biden did, and just admit that they will do it. Don't hide it. Don't deny it. That's what you will do, and say, this is what we will do. Vote for me. I will throw open the borders. Be honest about it. And I guess that's it for today. Thanks for stopping by. If you could subscribe, that would really be great. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. Your comments always welcome in the comments section below the video. Share this video with anyone you think would benefit from it. But most of all, come back and see me again. I'd love to see all of you again. And until I do see all of you again, bye.